Hey everybody, this is Dakazu here. I just want to give everyone a heads up. During this episode, I will talk about a Mass Effect 3 spoiler cast happening at the end of the episode. That talk went on way too long, so we're going to release it this Thursday. Look for it on your iTunes or Stitch or whatever feed. We'll make sure to post that in Twitter too, so just so you know, there's nothing at the end of this podcast. Episode 56 for the week of February 25th, 2013. I'm Dr. D from the forums, and who else is here with us?
Biggie, Dark Fox 8,
Mr. X,
and Totoro.
Hey guys, how's it going today?
Good. Swell.
Pretty good.
It is pretty early for me. I must sound like I just woke up, because I did.
You do.
Hopefully that'll change as we podcast. Hey Biggie, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been quite some time.
I love how you respond and your mic sounds beep or
What? My mic? No, it sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
I think you got weird ears.
I have a high-end gaming headset. It should sound wonderful.
Oh.
It's your Canadian internet.
That is true.
I think it's more like your Hawaiian internet making him sound weird, because he sounds fine to me.
This sounds like bullshit, because when we were watching the PlayStation 4 announcement thing, I was like one of the people who was like way ahead.
Yeah, but you're in Hawaii connecting to Canada, and this is really great podcast discussion.
You know what else is great? My 3DS. Well, technically it's my wife's 3DS, but I stole it.
Thief Baggins.
Well, I got Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward in the mail on Thursday, so I've been playing the crap out of that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Dark Fox, when are you going to play this game,
When, probably the month or two when I save up enough money and I buy a Vita.
Is that the only game?
Actually, I may have to wait for E3 because they might announce the Vita price dropped in. So I'll see. Sometime this year I'll start playing that game. Hopefully, if all goes according to plan.
All right, Biggie. I got my wife the Professor Layton game, Miracle Mask, but I've just been playing VLR. You know, I also downloaded Pushmo. No, not Pushmo. It was Crashmo. Because that was like on sale or something for like $7, and that's a great puzzle game. It's not Picross, but it's still good.
Not many games are Picross, but how far have you made it in Crashmo?
Only like 10 levels. I just play it when I want to clear my head of like VLR for a little bit. We'll have a podcast with VLR because Kenzo's freaking the fuck out. Like Kenzo and Rodney, and anyone who's played Virtue's Last Reward on the forums is like freaking out because like. They want to learn. They want to hear about like what I think is like who Zero is, and all. Like they want to know like what I'm thinking as I play the game.
It's the ultimate like mystery game. The whole game is so thick with mystery. At least the first one was.
It is. It's for people who don't like know anything about Virtue's Last Reward. They might have heard about it, like Patrick talking about it on the Bombcast, along with 9 persons, 9 doors, 9 hours. Probably saying that in the wrong order. It's just
it's 99. Who knows?
Yeah, it's all you need to know about those games is they're fun adventure games because you play through different timelines and different sequences, and as you play through them, you learn more about like the different characters and their motives, and with that knowledge, when you go back and play through a different timeline, you have a better understanding, and you're trying to keep playing through everything so you can figure out the big picture.
Yeah, I understand you have to play it multiple times to actually get the whole story.
Yeah, and that's the entertaining part. It's a lot of text, but you know, I consider it more like a novel. The puzzles are okay, but they're not the main thing about VLR. The main thing is about the story and you know trying to figure out who doing it. Well, I'm really kind of like simplifying it, but that's basically it. Anyway,
who these characters are is a huge cast of characters.
Yeah. Biggie, I played the. I know you have a 3DS, and did you play the Monster Hunter demo?
I did play the Monster Hunter demo.
Have you played Monster Hunter before?
I had a friend who tried to talk me into playing it with him on the PSP, and I played a little on the PSP, but I just found that game way too hard to get into.
Yeah. That demo was my first time playing anything Monster Hunter, and I was just like, I can't believe people played this game. Not because like I don't understand the inherent value of like fighting a monster for like 15 minutes, just like beating the crap out of it, trying to like kill it. It was the controls.
I don't know. The controls are kind of like Dark Soulish. They're you just roll around and.
No, Biggie. In Monster Hunter, you don't have a fucking camera control. There's no second analog stick.
Don't you have the button?
You have the virtual D-pad.
It doesn't matter though, because you have to use your face buttons. Like you have to use the X, Y, those buttons to attack. So your thumb has to move back from them. And that Virtua pad on like the touchscreen does not work that well.
I'll agree there.
I guess the main thing that you do is you tap the left trigger, and that will kind of align the camera on the guy. But it's not like a Z targeting from Zelda. It just kind of like focuses the camera on the enemy for a second, and then you still have to maneuver your character with your analog stick to get them, make sure they're pointing in the right direction. So when they're doing their attacks, it just felt very clunky.
I'll agree with that.
Well, wasn't that the whole point of them adding or like putting out that second analog like add-on?
That's the thing, Totoro. When I booted up the game, I'm pretty sure it said this is not compatible with the add-on thing. Biggie, did you remember seeing that?
Yeah, it totally says that.
Yeah, it says that. It's not like... It's like, what? Wasn't that the point?
Yeah. Sorry, we don't support the Frankenstick.
If you had a second analog, I can see, like... I could definitely get behind this game a little bit more. It's just the camera controls are pretty bad.
I don't know, like the demo, right? I did the beginner one, and there is no tutorial in there whatsoever. They're just like, boop, here you go, run around and slash things, and then die.
Yeah, you actually have to, before you open up the game, you have to open up the manual and check it out.
But game manuals don't exist anymore.
I know, it's weird, right? But Biggie, you compare this to Dark Souls, and you've been playing Dark Souls.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, tell me everything about Dark Souls.
It kills you a lot.
Why are you so bad at Dark Souls?
Because I refuse to read any facts, so I don't know. I'm not patient.
You want to play it without cheating.
Exactly, yeah. I like to be surprised. I want to learn the knowledge myself.
You don't want to read a playthrough of somebody else and then do that.
No.
Wait a minute, we need to stop for a second, okay? Listen, X.
Yes?
Reading a playthrough online is one thing. But, like, the hint system that's built into that game, where, like, you see, like, the glowing messages on the ground, that's, like, built-in hints and built-in cheating.
But reading a walkthrough telling you how to play the game is totally cheating.
Listen, Dark Souls is totally the type of game, water cooler game, where you talk with a buddy about, like, what they did and, like... And it doesn't necessarily pertain to you because you could be playing, like, a melee-based character or, like, a spellcaster.
So you're saying that game facts is your schoolyard knowledge?
No, not game facts. Just talking to people who play Dark Souls. I don't feel, if Biggie wanted to talk to me about Dark Souls, I don't feel like that would be cheating. But
no,
it's obviously his choice.
But if you look up and where to stand for so that you don't die and where you can still hit enemies and stuff like that, that is totally cheating.
Well, that's dumb because in those spots you will have a message that says safe zone.
But the game is supposed to be like trial and error, right? Because you're supposed to go through until you figure out how to accomplish what you need to accomplish.
Yeah, but the way you're going to accomplish it eventually comes you're breaking the system. You're glitching the enemies to make it as easy for you to kill them as possible.
That depends on your playthrough.
Or at least that's how I played Demon Souls.
What do you mean you glitch an enemy?
Like you get them caught on geometry, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I guess.
You just game the engine, right?
Well, not with every enemy. Maybe there's a few enemies you might be able to do that with, but in general, it's just learning how to, roll dodge. If you want to play that style, it's learning when to block. It's learning, when to attack. And you just do those things. You just kind of learn those as you... That's trial and error that X is talking about.
I don't know, I always would pull skeletons off, like, one at a time into tighter corridors, so it's easier to attack them one-on-one instead of in a group.
That's not... I don't feel like that's, like...
That's kiting.
Glitching. Yeah, that's kiting. That's a technique.
That's strats.
Yeah.
No, there's a boss in Dark Souls that... There's a boss in Dark Souls that you can kill, like, super easy just with your fists. So if you know that trick, then that's kind of glitching the system. I'll admit to that. But I think like the developers left those kinds of things in on purpose.
Totally.
It's like Dishonored, right? Like if the developers wanted to, if people could figure out that you could like what's that? The phase move. I forget what it's called, but if you could do that and like phase through like a complete like obstacle, then good for you. You figured it out.
It was Blink.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like whole sections of the map. Like you'll run through the map like 20 times, and then on the 21st time you're like, oh my god, if I just go this way, I can shortcut all this stuff.
So running left in Pitfall.
Exactly.
Well, you just started, right? So I look forward to hearing your progress.
About 2 hours, yeah. So far, I have not given up.
Well, don't give up. The mechanics are different than Demon Souls, but I feel like some of the changes were actually made to make it easier.
Cool, because I only got to... I don't know. I got pretty far in Dark Souls, but I never finished it. Or Demon Souls, I mean.
Demon Souls, there's a couple levels where you just fucking hit a wall. And Dark Souls are going to have, like, tricky levels too, but you're just going to have to deal with them.
It was the chick boss that would clone herself.
Oh, really?
Oh, man, I tried so many times to kill her. And then that level started to get red phantoms spawn into it as NPCs, and I was just like, I don't want to deal with this. So
yeah,
I just stopped.
I can see that. This game has red phantoms too, but they don't come that often. Any Dark Souls beginner, I always tell them, if you want an easier time, use long range.
I'm playing as the Wanderer, so I'm trying to roll dodge everything.
Roll dodging is really important. Make sure your equipment weight is less than half your maximum equipment capacity. You will always be able to fast dodge.
Cool.
Okay, we can move on next.
I kind of wanted to ask Darfox how many times you played through Metal Gear Solid 4 this week.
Oh, I haven't played through. I've kind of stopped and started playing Arkham City.
Awesome.
Which I'm having a lot of fun with.
Really, this final week of the PlayStation Trophy Contest, you finally decided to stop like grinding away at Metal Gear?
No. It's just I could take a break from it. I'm probably going to start. I'm probably going to do another playthrough tomorrow, and sometime during the week. But I already gave up on the trophy contest. Like, I'm gonna try to get some more trophies, but I couldn't get my hand on some easy trophy games. I couldn't get my hand on some blood trophies, because the rental service had all of them unavailable, and I couldn't get on GameFly soon enough. So I was just left with 1 week left. So I might be able to get my hand on like one easy platinum from scratch, but that's not gonna be enough to catch up to like not living like 5th place or something.
Yeah, I've given up on beating Bob and the Zooniverse.
When did the Zooniverse come back? I didn't know
days ago.
Since the day he was born for trophies, man.
Well, good job for him, because he was like in 6th place or something, and now he's in 2nd. He's hot on Bob's tail.
Yes, right now the battle is between 1st and 2nd, and then 3rd and 4th between me and Cross. Me and Cross we're in contention for 3rd place. I think I'm gonna beat him. Maybe.
You guys are really neck and neck. Like, the Zooniverse is like 70, a little less than 7 points.
I had passed Zooniverse, and then he got 200 trophies out of nowhere.
What?
How the fuck did he do that?
He might have pulled the Bob, or he
may
just
have.
didn't sync his trophies.
Ooh, nice play, keeping it secret.
Well, he's still 70 points behind. Sorry, Dark Fox.
No, it's fine. I'm hesitant of doing that on PS3 because I feel like your trophies might get erased on PS3. I don't know if this ever happens, but just because the PS3 trophy system is like it's more of a hack job. It's not like the 360 where it was like built in, where even if you don't update your trophies, you can reliably expect the PS3 to hang on to your trophies within the system itself. I always feel like worried that the PS3, if it doesn't sync with the server, it forgets what trophy you earned in the past few days or whatever. I just get that impression. I may be crazy though.
I don't think it works that way. That'd be bad.
I'm paranoid of that, so I never even considered doing the sneaky tactic. But I would guess maybe the Zooniverse did actually do that. And
that, or he's a madman.
200 points, that's like 4 full games, isn't it? Doesn't like one game give you like around 50 points?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so this guy must have done at least like around 4 full games, starting from scratch, not like completing halfway or something.
Can you save file cheat to get trophies on the PS3?
I don't think so.
No, the save file I think has to originate on that PS3 for it to unlock trophies.
Oh.
So you could import save files and play through the game and get to the last level, but it won't earn you the trophies. It won't pop them.
Okay. A customer at the store I work at used to be one of the top-ranked 360 achievement guys in Canada. He probably still is. And he would talk about all these things you do to get achievements. I'm just like, why? It's crazy. But
Wait, what do you do?
hey, they would he had Japanese console, North American console, European console, so he could triple achievement, like in every territory, because each one is a different achievement thing.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum, I think, has different achievements for the Game of the Year edition, the Standard edition, and the PC version.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3 right there. Then the different regions.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe he's going to tell you that he was using a modded Xbox 360 to just unlock achievements. And I was like,
no,
that's
there
not
are people that do that.
But they get banned.
People who do that, but yeah, eventually, Microsoft does a wave of bans and bans anybody who has a modded 360.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like Puppy Box got 20 more trophies this week. He's up to 50.
I think Puppy Box threw down against Kenzo.
Yeah, he passed Kenzo.
Wasn't he like, I'm going to beat you, Kenzo?
Well, he is.
He is. Or was that
Totoro
I forget.
Midot is at 11, so no. But Totoro is still tied for last.
You can't count Totoro.
Yeah, I can.
He's tied. He doesn't. His PS3 broke.
I know, but if he doesn't take absolute last and he ties for last, I think that counts as a win for him.
Wait, so if I get in now, I could maybe beat Totoro?
Yeah.
Oh, you could definitely.
Yeah, you could definitely. If you get just one trophy, you'll beat him.
I could finally unwrap my copy of God of War 3.
There you go.
It's a pretty good game, too.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Baron Mansu has 0. Isn't he like a monster?
Yeah, he's super high level in the trophies.
I guess he was busy with life stuff or something. Oh, I think he was moving.
Yeah, I think he said he moved right when it started.
Right.
But doesn't he have a crazy trophy level?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, normally he's a trophy whore among whores.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
No, I mean in the most nice way, because I'm a trophy whore as well.
We should move on, though. X, you wanted to quickly go through some PlayStation 4 stuff?
Well, yeah, there was a couple of things that we missed or came out after we talked about it.
Everyone should go download our PlayStation 4 announcement podcast. We posted it in the middle of the week. It's kind of impromptu.
It's exactly that.
Yeah. It's impromptu. You can find it on the forums as well as on our iTunes feed. And if you're subscribed, you should get it. Check our Twitter, alltalk podcast, all that stuff. Yeah, go listen to that for more in-depth discussion. Right, that happened right after the announcement.
Raw reactions.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, continue.
I guess there was a Sony guy that said that it will allow used games, but maybe he misspoke.
God, people are gonna hate me, especially Kevin for getting his name wrong. I forget his name. Shuhei Yoshida, is that his name? Whatever. He's a worldwide PlayStation studio guy. And he said straight up that it will allow secondhand games, but then a few days later or a day later, there was an article saying that that's going to be up to the publisher. So if EA wants to block secondhand games, they could do it on their Maddens or whatever. So that's still up in the air. It's kind of weird and kind of dodgy business going on there. Hopefully not.
Does allow used games.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
Well, I kind of feel like no matter, and I'm not advocating this at all, but I have a feeling that no matter what publishers do, that there's going to be a certain segment of consumers who are going to find a way around it.
You mean piracy?
I mean, not maybe up to that, but I'm just saying that there will be, or they'll find a way to hack around that.
Yeah.
So, but if they didn't allow you to use games, what price would you be willing to pay for a game? If they were like Steam and start to discount heavily, would that be okay with you?
You mean $60 new releases and then price drop?
And then $30 in a month later, or random weekend sales on the digital copy of the game and stuff like that. Yeah.
I think I'd still be willing to pay $60 if it's a game I want.
You know what? I think it's going to depend on the file size of these games. How big do you think these games are going to be?
Well, they're going to come on a disc.
25 gigs.
I'm saying for downloads.
Yeah, that's. It'll depend on the game. I mean, I assume they'll be bigger than the current gen stuff.
Well, and the other thing that they're gonna have to consider for some of this stuff is, how big is this hard drive that they're gonna put in? I don't recall if they said or
They didn't say. They just said it's going to have a physical hard drive.
yeah.
It's,
So, I don't see at this point. I don't see that there's any point in putting in a 500 gig versus a 1 terabyte 2.5-inch drive. The price difference between the two is not so great.
yeah.
I assume it'll be half a terabyte, or maybe they'll have two models, one with a terabyte and then the other one with a half.
They kind of went all out with the specs, so maybe they apply the same philosophy they did with the RAM of just kind of I don't know, indulge themselves. It's gonna be expensive though.
Or they'll do what they did this gen and then release it with it'll come out originally with a 500 gig, and then a year later it'll be a terabyte, then a year later 1.5 terabyte.
Do you think they'll keep a replaceable hard drive?
I think so. I think that's one of the smarter things they did this generation versus what Microsoft did.
You mean just being able to use a third party
Yeah, I mean,
external hard drive? Okay.
yeah, that's the biggest pain in the ass for me from the Microsoft point of view. Or the other alternative would be if they did, if both of them or either of them do what Nintendo's doing with the Wii U, where you can just hook up a third-party external.
Yeah, maybe it'll have USB 3.0, and then it'll allow you to save games and stuff to an external hard drive.
Doesn't the Microsoft hard drive still cost $100 or something ridiculous?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's only what, $250?
I think there's a few different sizes.
I remember when they were selling the 20 gig for $100. I was like, what a fucking jip.
Yeah, well, stuff's only worth what someone will pay for it.
Yep.
And they've proven Microsoft does a fucking hell of a job at proving what people will pay for stuff.
Do you think the PS4 is going to have all these features behind a paywall?
Yes.
Like how do you mean?
Xbox Live Gold versus Silver, where Xbox Live Gold has Netflix and Hulu and all sorts of stuff that you can't access with Xbox Live Silver.
I hope not.
I think you're going to have to pay to be able to broadcast to people. Being able to become a channel that people watch, that'll be behind, you'll have to have Plus. And
That makes some sense to me, but if that's the case, I think it'd be nice for it to be some sort of maybe you could broadcast 1 hour per month or something, so that you just figure out how it works out. Just to have an incentive for people to actually pay for that.
Or maybe without Plus, you'll only be able to record video, not live stream.
Yeah, some sort of
Sorry,
pay
what?
break. They'll break down the pay, because that network infrastructure is going to cost them money, and they need to monetize it somehow.
Well, they're going to throw ads on it no matter what.
Yeah.
And maybe what they'll do for free is, you can broadcast up to 480p or something, and then, you want to pay if you want more, if you want 720p, 1080p, you have to pay for it.
Do you think they're going to do with their ads that copyright that just recently came out? I don't know if you guys saw this.
You mean the one that you have to say the name of the ad?
Yeah, there's a McDonald's ad, and then you have to get up and yell McDonald's to skip the ad.
Are you? Where in the hell is this?
It was a patent.
Yeah, with the patent.
I thought that was a Microsoft patent.
No, it was Sony.
It was Sony. To be clear, there's dozens of patents that all companies put out. A lot of them seem fucking crazy. Most of them don't ever come out to consumers.
My favorite version of the patent, though, was one that said, throw pickles to make ad play faster.
Full dill pickles, or little slices, or spears, or whatever?
I assume it's some iToy game where it's on screen, but I'd like to think that you'd have to have a jar of pickles and start throwing them at the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's hilarious.
Anything else about the PlayStation 4? Oh, you know what?
There's the real name stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What's that name?
Where it pulls from your Facebook or Twitter or something, and so it's the BattleNet real name stuff. I know some people really dislike that.
Right. Yeah. Well, Mark Cerny himself said that the gamer tags is going to stick around. He said the anonymity is still important for online shooters or something, but you could have a network with your friends and see other face photos.
Yeah, if you're friends with somebody, if they're on your friends list, maybe they can see you, or you can allow certain friends to see you or something.
I really don't want Facebook like integration because Facebook is annoying. I hope it doesn't like bring in like your Facebook feed or whatever.
Well, I definitely don't want it posting to my Facebook. I don't want, all my friends and stuff and old coworkers like knowing how much time I spend or don't spend on a gaming console.
Yeah, or what if there's you get pop-ups whenever somebody posts something like it leaves a comment on a picture or something, and it pops up on your screen.
It'll all be usable or user controllable, so I'm not too worried.
That just sounds awful to me.
That's the thing. They said a lot of things in this announcement. Most of these things were like promises or statements of intent. The nitty gritty of like 90% of the stuff that they talked about, it probably isn't taken care of yet. They need to figure all this shit out first.
Yeah, like there was that thing where you'd be able to spectate your friend, and if they get stuck, you can take over for them.
Yeah.
I don't expect that to be in there at all, ever.
That'd be awesome, but it did sound kind of like hot bullshit to me.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they figured out how to deal with the latency. You never know. I'm gonna enjoy seeing if they can do it. So
I just doubt it.
That just further, makes me realize how the sorry state of affairs that that broadband is in North America.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big, if these games are 20 gigs, on my bandwidth cap, I can only download, 5 games a month. Assuming I do nothing else with my internet. And,
Are you planning on not buying any discs?
No, I'll probably buy discs because I have to, but, it's a big problem, for Steam. If I could, I would go digital only. I totally would.
But the problem with, downloadable games on the Xbox and PlayStation is that they don't drop the price. So it's cheaper to go retail.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, most of the time, definitely. How often? I mean, it doesn't seem like it takes very long for Amazon to start discounting stuff. And if you wait 3 or 4 months after a game's released, I think I bought Mass Effect 3, which we'll talk about later, from Amazon 3 or 4 months after it was out, and I got it for $30.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I think so long as actual retailers, whether they be online or brick and mortar, continue to have that flexibility, then versus these console manufacturers and their online stores. So long as they continue to have that flexibility, then they will continue to have the upper hand advantage.
But Sony, really seemed to indicate that they want to be flexible on pricing, right? And I mean, PlayStation Plus shows that Sony is willing to be incredibly flexible on pricing because they're basically, for a subscription, giving away games for free or for very little money.
Mm-hmm. And they did mention about the indies could self-publish.
Yeah, that seems huge.
So theoretically, third parties as well, EA could set their own prices for their games on there.
Yeah, it's just a matter of keeping GameStop happy.
Well, the other thing is looking at. I mean, I don't think that I've ever seen I've never seen anybody say anything about EA dropping prices on Origin to sell digital games like that.
Well, they have sales on there from time to time.
Yeah, they keep dropping Battlefield in price quite frequently. It
was that off of Origin though, or is that from Amazon Digital?
No, they had 50% off all of Battlefield 3. Actually, the whole Battlefield franchise last weekend.
And there was that time they accidentally gave away their entire library for free.
Yep, I never cashed in on that.
Did you guys see Jimmy Fallon playing Killzone?
Yep,
I saw a little bit of that just right before we started recording.
Anthony Anderson is the best at video games.
It seems like he never really played a video game, at least a modern video game.
Well, he played Madden. He played Madden in Romeo Must Die.
He also, sorry, go ahead.
It kind of makes me scared about the controller because they both as soon as they touched it, boom, the gun shot straight up in the air and they couldn't aim at anybody. And
is that your takeaway with it? Is that the controller is bad collaboration?
I don't know.
And it's not that they're super bad at it.
Have you ever seen a person that doesn't know how to play video games try to play a first-person shooter?
Yeah, they do exactly that.
Jimmy Fallon has people on all the time to play video games, and he says he likes video games. So unless he's a PC gamer, like, what's going on?
What do you mean, what's going on? Didn't you remember the Kinect? Remember when he was doing Kinect stuff?
Oh, he just does it for jokes?
I think he's like a simpleton, where like he plays like, oh, I love games, I'm a gamer, and he just like picks up Madden or like the most basic or lowest common denominator type game and barely plays it, but he considers himself a gamer because he spends time and money on it.
Or another possibility is that he was trying to be entertaining on a TV show.
Yeah.
No, you guys are crazy. Jimmy Fallon. No, I'm kidding.
That's true. I hate Jimmy Fallon.
No, I don't hate him. I think he's okay.
Yeah, he's good. Why do you hate him?
Why do I hate him? Because he ruined every SNL skit ever.
You asked.
I never really watched SNL, but he's no replacement for Conan. But he's doing fine by himself, like doing his own little thing.
Yeah, his musical stuff is good. His impressions.
I think he has a good understanding of what's important, and focusing on games is not a bad idea at all.
Well, no one else is doing it in that space.
Yeah, he's hip. Well, Conan's doing his own clueless gamer thing, which is great in his own way.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Actually, he's better than what Jimmy does.
Well, Conan doesn't really put the spotlight like on the tech and the games the way that Jimmy does. But Conan is funnier about it.
Yeah, with Jimmy, it's more kind of like a marketing thing. It must be that these companies reach out to Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy like sees like what he wants to actually highlight on his show. And of course, a brand new console. He said, "Oh, I'll definitely have that on my show." It's kind of win-win for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the takeaway of that was first of all, it obviously wasn't pre-rendered because nobody's gonna pre-render.
What if it was?
Somebody running at the ground for like 5 minutes.
Running into a wall and then looking straight up.
Can we take a moment here?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna speak directly to friend of our podcast who listens and was on as our special guest for the 1-year anniversary, Ryan Higgins. Ryan, I know you're listening to this podcast, so let me explain what Ryan is trying to say, because on the forums people were blowing up at him. Ryan was claiming that he thought it was pre-rendered, but what I think he's trying to say is he doesn't believe that the PlayStation 4 will be able to run that game. He believes that game is running like it's not pre-rendered, but he doesn't believe the PlayStation 4 will be able to run it without being pre-rendered, is what he's saying. He doesn't think the PlayStation 4 specs can't. Yeah, he doesn't think the PlayStation 4 specs will be able to run that game. Obviously, that game is running on developer specs. It's running on a PC that's probably like high-end.
Well, he thinks the dev kit is going to be more powerful than the final hardware. And
that's
why
possible.
he can do it.
Well,
But
they usually are in some sense.
the dev kits only had 4 gigs of RAM in it, though, last I heard.
No, they had 8.
If all those rumors and stuff were true, anyway.
But like the Aliens Colonial Marine scandal, right? They showed a demo, and then when the final product came out, it looked nowhere near as good as the demo they showed. Because when you're making a vertical slice, you can, focus on the graphics.
But when was that shown?
About a year before release, yeah.
And this is less than a year. I mean, you could bring up Halo 2, like the first time that was demoed at E3 with gameplay. That isn't in the game at all.
But, I mean, he could be right that they're going to have to scale back the graphics for the final game. But I don't agree with that. I think it'll probably look the way they demoed it.
I think it'll look like that or better, because that game, it looks really good compared to what we have, but there are games out there that look better.
PC games.
Crysis 3, yeah.
Yeah,
PCs.
Crysis.
Well, and don't forget that basically also if the rumors are that they're putting like these the AMD A10 processor in there, and then they're putting in another like graphics card on top of that, it'll essentially be running an SLI unless I'm completely or Crossfire, whatever it is for AMD.
Yeah, if it has
way out in left field.
If the AMD processor they're putting in it has the built-in GPU, then yeah, that would be Crossfire.
Yeah.
I've heard 2 rumors on this. One is their next-gen APU, which is the graphic die and the CPU are on the same die, and the other one is it's 2 separate chips but on the same die, like on the same packaging. So they take the CPU and the graphics card and put it on the same chip and then put it in the console. Either way, it's like they're saying it's going to be around like a AMD 7850. It'll be about the speed of the video card, which is pretty good, especially running at television resolutions. That'll run any game today at 60 hertz. So
Yeah, I think if people want to be worried about the actual final console, they should be more worried about the features, like the live streaming, all the stuff that might not be in the console as they showed it now. I think the actual games are going to look as good as they pretend they're going to look right now.
Well, there's never been a Sony console to have all the features that were promised when it was first announced.
Yeah, I think it's all totally possible, but I think it's also totally possible that something along the line screws up and they don't get it ready for launch.
I'm also curious how big the box will be when we actually see it at E3. Like, how small can they make a console that powerful that's making that much heat?
I'm imagining it'll be roughly the same size, but that's me.
Well, it sounds kind of like it's just a gaming laptop turned into a console, kinda. So I imagine they could make it small if they wanted.
I hope so.
Let's move it along, though, because I want to talk a little bit about Destiny.
Okay, we can do that. Bungie.
You mean
So this is the marathon follow-up, right?
Yes, God, I fucking hope so. But I guess technically Halo is a marathon follow-up.
No,
What's
it's not.
Halo?
It's a sequel to Oni.
So we know a couple things about Destiny, but I want to just do some wild speculations about this. I mean, do you think it's going to be like, just like, basically it's going to be like Borderlands, and then you're going to have an MMO type hub city?
It's kind of like what it sounds like. Kind of
I
like
think they said that.
yeah, kind of like Phantasy Star Online, where there's the hub town, and then you go into your own little dungeon.
And the hub town is like third person instead of first person, so you can see your dude and you can do all these emotes.
You can dance. It'll be like
If you want it.
PlayStation. It'll be like PlayStation Home in a game.
You can leave your friends behind.
with guns?
If you watch like Jeff Gerstmann's breakdown of the Bungie event they had the Sunday before the PS4 event, he mentions that they use the word dungeon a lot. They say, "Oh, dungeon here, dungeon that," and for example, this like derelict spaceship adrift in space, they consider that a dungeon. So you go there, complete the dungeon, and get loot. Theoretically, you could do that dungeon multiple times.
Mm-hmm. My fear for Destiny is that they're going to microtransaction us. You know, just pay a little for better.
You mean free to play? You think it's going to be like a free to play model?
Freemium.
Free to play, except they actually charge you upfront $60.
That's the EA method. Like
You
with
mean-
Dead Space 3, you pay for the game, and then you have the option to buy everything in the game.
Yeah, but that's an option. You can still earn it through in-game currency.
Yep. Or like Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. That is structured like a free to play game.
Right, you buy like unlocks, random unlocks.
Wait, who published the Godfather games?
EA.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's them.
Damn.
They've learned that this is a successful model.
I can see there being a lot of DLC for Destiny with like expansion packs and new dungeons and stuff. I don't think they'll charge for like armor and weapons because it sounds like this is a loot game.
So they're talking about it being a 10-year game. Do you think it'll be a 10-year game on the Xbox, and like do you think it'll 10 years will just be through DLC, or will they release full new discs every like 3 years or something like that?
Xbox, Biggie, this is not a
Or-
console exclusive.
I know.
He said as an example.
But, like on the original 360 and PS3, right? It's coming out on both, right? Do you
Yeah.
think they'll support it? How long do you think they'll support it on the old platforms?
Well, I see it there being like it'll come out 1 year and then they'll support it with DLC for like the next year or year and a half, and then then they'll put out a sequel.
PS3 is not going to go anywhere. And same thing with the Xbox 360. They're going to continue to sell for like a couple of years now.
Yeah, I mean they only just stopped recently.
It would be
making
really
PS2s.
dumb if they released it on the 360 and the PS3 and they didn't support it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm going to get it on PC though.
But do you think that it will have like crossplay between PS3 and PS4?
No, I highly doubt that.
could
Unless
happen.
there's some problem with the infrastructure, I don't see why they couldn't do it because it's the same company, right?
Let's talk. Remember what was that game? Shadowfall?
Yeah.
Shadowrun.
Shadowrun. God, the fucking you remember that epic one of yours? Talking with that guy. Like seriously, the balance issues between mouse and keyboard. I'm sure people at Bungie could work on it, but it sounds like a bigger hassle than it needs to be.
Wait,
But
I'm sorry. Did you say PS3, PS4, or did
yeah,
you say
PS3, PS4. It's controller.
console to console?
What
Console
about the
on console
PC
action.
version?
They if they
Are you
want
just
to.
are you just talking about between the consoles?
Well, I'm sure the PC version will allow controller support and everything.
Okay, between the consoles, I'm gonna definitely say no. Definitely
Why?
no.
Not
Because do
between
you
like
think
Xbox
Microsoft and
no,
Sony are gonna be okay with that?
PS3 and PS4,
Yes.
Sony console and new Sony console and old Sony console, because the game's going out for both.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were saying
E-
Xbox and.
You can drink some coffee.
or like
Sorry.
the
Sorry, I'm
360,
not awake.
or like the
No, it's
360 and the next Xbox, like that. It could
I
happen.
think it all come down to network infrastructure and how
Yeah.
compatible the old infrastructure is with the new one.
If there's something really weird about it, then I guess it'd be too hard to do it. But if not, then
And
I'd be annoyed if they want to do it. It just make the community better and easier.
And if there's no like competitive multiplayer, if this is all like co-op, then there's no reason they couldn't have PC cross-platform play with something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although I'd be shocked if it's not PvP somewhere.
No, like I
in
said, the
there.
cross-platform is gonna be the problem because PVE content it shouldn't be a problem, but PvP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Shadowrun game would like lower the accuracy of the PC player if you would do like a 180 snap with the mouse, and that just like pissed off PC players because it's like gimping them, making them dumber.
Yeah, they couldn't find a way to balance that without gimping the PC side.
I think they should just throw them together, and the superior race will eventually win out.
Yeah, or just allow mouse and keyboard on console.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I have a different question.
I mean, I used to do that on Dreamcast. I used to play Quake 3 on the Dreamcast against people on PC.
You know how they have 3 classes? They said there's only 3, right? It's not that they've announced 3, it's 3 classes. So do you think it's only like max 3 people when you play co-op?
No?
They said 6-player instancing at some point.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that.
I think the Jeff Gersman thing where you talked about it, I think he said 6-player instancing.
Not to...
But not. Sorry, now that you mention it, I don't remember seeing more than 3 on camera. Though they've showed so little of the game, so that's probably not a good way to judge it.
Wouldn't that mean 4 players if like the first person and 3 other people?
No, I meant 2 people on camera plus the first person view.
Hmm.
But I may just be wrong, and also they may have just showed very selective footage.
They've shown like 10 seconds of gameplay, so...
Yeah, in total. Well, in total, probably like 20.
Maybe.
Do you think... What about the weapons? Do you think, like... Because it's a loot-based game, do you think you're gonna, like, find weapons with better accuracy? Are they gonna, like, change that like Borderlands where you get a sniper rifle and, it's not that accurate compared to this other sniper rifle that's very accurate?
Maybe. Or maybe it'll just have like different attributes, like +1 or fire.
I would assume so, but then like if they're doing multiplayer, like player versus player, then they have to figure a way that all the guns are equal. So maybe they'll do like a Guild Wars. When you play multiplayer, they make you all the same level, so that technically everything is fair. It just comes down to skill.
Yeah, I would like player versus enemy content like in Borderlands, you can do that with the different like attributes and stuff. But I was just thinking like there's no way a company like Bungie would allow, having like weapons that actually don't work for the sake of dice rolls, because that doesn't seem very Bungie like.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know. They started making RTSs, right? And that was all dice rolling.
Just to change topics a little, dakazu, you had mentioned One Up Yours, and that reminded me that One Up was closed this week.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for One Up, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't be podcasting right now.
Yeah. They were definitely influential in podcasting. And so many good, talented people have came out of that company, so it's kind of sad to see it pass.
I never listened to like the Hotspot, but besides that, I'm not sure of another online group that was doing podcasts as prevalently as One Up. And
I listened to the Hotspot, and that was the first podcast I listened to. But One Up was still sort of an epiphany for me because the Hotspot were very professional, like to the point where one thing they wouldn't curse on the podcast and they wouldn't talk about rumors, so there would never be like fanboy arguments. So then when I listen to One Up Yours and you see like Shane arguing with like Garnley over like the pettiest things, but these create like very, very funny moments. So like even if it wasn't like the first, it was kind of like the first that kind of like opened the valve and let the poop come out in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first one I listened to was actually EGM Live. I think that's what it was called, right?
Yes.
And then from there, I went to One Up Yours, and then GFW Radio.
Which was the best one? Oh man, I miss GFW Radio.
GFW Radio is the reason why I got into PC gamings.
Yeah, me too. Well, them and Idle Thumbs.
Was it Heroes of the Web? The dramatic readings of internet forums? Oh my god.
It was just
Killed
like,
me.
I like Jeff Green a lot and Sean Elliott, obviously, but... Oh, yeah, Totoro, you should mention that.
Yeah, since all that went down, Ryan Scott had asked if anyone had like everything from like GFW Radio, so I went and kind of trolled through my archives, and I had pulled it all down like a while ago, just to get it all like kind of queued up for myself and ready to go. And I haven't been as diligent about it as I'd like to be, but anyway, I went ahead and zipped all those up and posted them to the alltalk podcast site. Just so if anyone wants to download it, there it is. But it's actually on if you go to the Twitter feed and go back to, I forget what day it was, but it was the middle of last week.
You're going robot.
Is that every single GFW episode in one zip?
Yeah, it is.
Dude, don't ask the guy a question when he needs to fix
Don't ask
his...
the robot a question.
God, the fucking Biggie. Stupid Canadian.
Ouch, Hawaiian rage. Chill, man. Have a lay.
Eat some spam.
Something else I want to say.
You guys are assholes.
Spam.
Ooh, we've been talking
What do
about
you
like the
mean,
golden age. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, what do you mean? I don't like spam.
So how
What?
big is the zip file?
4.5 gigs.
Wowzer.
Oh, shit. Okay, so are you okay with people downloading this from alltalk? I don't know about our bandwidth caps or whatever.
We don't have bandwidth caps.
Okay, so we can just advertise this willy-nilly. Everyone, go to alltalkpodcast.com and look for the GFWs.
Well, I don't have it. I'm sorry, I don't have it linked anywhere. But if you go to alltalkpodcast.com/gfw.zip.
Let's post it in the forums, and we'll also post it on our Twitter feed.
We promise it's not a virus.
Just send it to Sean Elliott's Twitter feed.
Yeah, that's probably a smart idea, and then
Or
we'll get
actually-
a million fucking hits.
Actually, I take it. Well, this isn't going to give us any hits at all, so because I just put it up there for people to download. There's nothing tied to it.
Yeah,
And I
the
take it-
glory days of 1UP, though. Those were some good days. Sorry,
Yeah, I was
Totoro.
going to say that we were talking about like the golden age, but 1UP has been kind of limping along for a while. It's kind of about time that they get killed off for realsies.
Yeah.
Not that I'm happy people lost their jobs or whatever, but it's like I'm sure there's plenty of good stuff written up and done after like the one apocalypse. But
I think Jeremy Parrish and Tina, what's her name, were the only people left over there.
No, Tina left a while ago, I think.
And
Am I
then
crazy?
it was just Jeremy Parrish.
I
Jeremy
think
Parrish
he's-
and a few other people.
I think Jeremy Parrish is still employed with them.
Yes, he is. And when Bob Mackey was there, he was kind of curating Retronauts. And I think that he actually said that he was going to continue curating that, and he's going to like figure that out. So that makes me happy because that's what got me into their podcasts.
It seems really short-sighted of Ziff Davis to shut down like GameSpy and 1UP and then just focus on IGN, because there is room out there for other gaming websites to be profitable.
Also, they're shutting down a community that those sites have built up.
Yeah.
It's really dumb. Ziff Davis, you're idiots.
I mean, they could have refocused it and made it offer a different type of content than what IGN does.
So wasn't there like a news story because Ziff Davis got rid of 1UP to UGO, and then 1UP ended up with like
No.
IGN?
Ziff Davis went fucking bankrupt because they couldn't find out how. It's insane too, because if you think about how popular like 1UP Yours and the 1UP Show and all those podcasts were, and they couldn't figure out a way to fucking monetize that. It's really sad.
Well, if they would have monetized it, then there would have been like pitchforks and torches in front of like
No,
people were kind of really angry.
I remember there being ads on 1UP Yours occasionally.
Yeah, but they didn't work. Like, Skip one time talked about how they tried to monetize, or try to like advertise, but like they just dried up. And nobody wanted to advertise.
Well, you know, when you're saying shit, fuck, damn, and talking about, you know, Sonic furries, then yeah, people aren't gonna want to put your stuff on that website, which is a shame because it's yeah. Well, anyway, Ziff, they went belly up. They had to sell off their stuff, and then Yu-Gi-Oh bought one up, and then said, okay, well, we only want to employ this amount of people, so everyone else is being let go.
And then IGN bought Yu-Gi-Oh and 1UP.
And then Ziff Davis bought 1UP and IGN.
Yeah, how the fuck did Ziff Davis come back? That's what I want to know.
And then they fired everybody at 1UP. It's like...
They're like, I thought we killed you once. This time we'll finish the job.
Yeah, it's like sticking the dead body with a knife or something. Just weird. It's just weird, like the companies and the twists and turns that are made with like these sellouts and buyouts and bankruptcies.
Yep.
RIP, pour one out.
I think my favorite moment from any of the 1UP podcasts was from GFW Radio when they were doing the dramatic reading from the Conan MMO.
Was it when they were cybering?
Yes, yeah. It was about the cybering.
This is for the... That's kind of funny.
That was great.
I like when Jeff Green and Sean Elliott were on One Up Yours together, and Sean Elliott told the story about massively multiplayer Grand Theft Auto 3.
Oh yeah, that was just cool to hear about.
Yeah, wasn't there people like role playing in it or something? Like they were
role
acting
playing
out their
servers.
job.
Yeah, it's you should go find it. It's good stuff.
Also, I like when Ryan Scott read like the bad review of like this RTS game. It was pretty funny too.
Wasn't that from the reunion show though, where they finally read that?
That was I Love Shooters. So that was another one. When he goes, when Ryan Scott asked me if I like shooters. I love shooters. That was a reunion show.
I wonder who that was.
He was like some sort of PR guy or something. The other one that I read on the podcast a while ago, before that, was like he starts talking about how like, oh, air units counter water units and water units counter ground units. Checks and balances, folks. It's just stupid.
We should probably move on though, because we could just talk about 1UP forever.
R.I.P.
Before we start Moviebox, I want to say this because apparently a lot of people skip Moviebox. You should stop skipping Moviebox, people. At the very end of this podcast, there will be a total spoiler cast about Mass Effect 3 because both Totoro and I finished it. So we're going to go totally in depth about what happened and what we thought about Mass Effect 3.
Completely late to the party, but whatever.
Oh, one more thing before we move on to Moviebox. I think we might have to change the name of Moviebox to something else because there's a Moviebox.com, and I don't know if we want to be associated with it.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay.
What kind of movies do they have? Oh!
Yep.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, I gotta type it up now. Everybody at home, type of Moviebox.com. We go react together.
Oh my god! Of course.
Yeah, we're not gonna say this. We're just gonna let you figure it out for yourself.
Well, did you not do this at work? That's all we'll say.
Women of Fear Factor Scene 5.
Biggie, let's go on to your Moviebox pick.
Playboy's Busty Base.
All right.
Scene 5.
You want me to introduce it?
Yes,
yeah.
Go ahead.
So my Moviebox pick was The Frighteners, which was a 1996 movie by Peter Jackson, who was basically trying to break Peter Jackson into the Western market, into North American cinemas, and it was a massive flop. But this is a movie I really liked. When I own it on DVD. I really liked it, and I think it still holds up pretty well today.
Well, one of the reasons
people who actually saw it actually really like it.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons it flopped is because they were pushing for it to come out in around Halloween, but the studio wanted it out in summer, and I think if it would have come out around Halloween, it would have done much better.
I think it really flopped because, well, it doesn't know what it wants to be, because it's like half comedy, half horror. And then I think the other problem was it has an R rating, and it doesn't feel like a movie with an R rating to me.
No, I'm actually surprised to hear that because I was just thinking that it shouldn't. I don't feel. Yeah, when the hell made this R?
Well, when they found out that they weren't getting an R and there's nothing they could do to change it, they made one of the death scenes a little bit more gruesome, where the guy's head got shot off. Originally, he just got like shot in the chest or stomach or something.
Oh yeah, we see like his ghost standing there.
Yeah.
Can we
Where he
talk
was.
about fucking Jeffrey Combs playing Milton Dammers?
You mean the best
Yes.
character in the movie?
Yes.
He's the Reanimator. What do you expect? That guy's awesome.
He.
So go ahead, sir. I'll talk about Jacombs later.
It was the hairstyle for that movie was his idea. He said to make him more creepier, he wanted to have Hitler's hairstyle. And then he also designed some of the scars and tattoos when he opens up his shirt in front of the car at that one scene.
Right.
What is it? The pain controls the mind.
Yeah.
That guy is great.
And he didn't audition for the movie. Peter Jackson just offered the role to him, which is great.
Well, have you seen Peter Jackson's earlier movies like
Dead Alive?
Dead Alive and
Meet
Meet
the
the Feebles?
Did he also do Bad Taste?
Yep, Bad Taste. That's another one. Yeah.
Yep.
This movie feels like it's in New Zealand because I think it was shot in New Zealand.
Yeah, it was.
it was.
Even though it's supposed to be in the United States, which is it's kind of weird. But like, it is so his movie, just like with a way bigger budget and better actors, and that's why I love it. So
Was there like a previous Moviebox pick?
No.
was it?
I don't think so.
Should be. You should go watch it
what
if you like the
was-
Frighteners.
Because there was one called like Live or Dead or something, something similar to that.
Evil Dead.
No, it wasn't even Dead. Well, whatever. It's not an interesting podcast. But you see-
Reanimator
you-
was a pick.
I didn't see that. You did mention about like the kind of the horror and the silliness. I kind of like that, but I understand that is kind of weird. And so some of it doesn't gel right. But I do like the swings in like tone.
Well, I'd say this
Personally.
movie is mostly a comedy.
I would agree.
Definitely.
It's just like a horror-themed comedy.
But there's some like spooky parts, some disturbing scenes.
Yeah, that's true.
Like when the girl's husband, when he's a ghost, trying to fight off like the Grim Reaper, when we thought it was Grim Reaper, in like in the house, and when he like slaps off the guy's face and throws like the ragged ghost body onto the hood of the car.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, that part's like great, scary. Like whoa, but he got fucked up.
he did. And there was also that scene where it was like the flashback to the hospital.
Yeah, that's really dark.
Yeah.
Especially
That's-
with like modern, recent things in the news about those type of shootings.
Yep. This movie actually didn't come out somewhere in one country because there was because this resembled a shooting that happened right around the time this movie was coming out.
It might have been happening in a hotel or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite. Like the way he uses flashbacks in this movie to tell like the dual story. Well, I guess it's all just the story of Michael J. Fox's character, but I just really like that. And his flashback scenes, they just feel like old footage, which is it's really cool.
I forgot how much I liked this movie until I saw it again. I really like this movie. It's
Yeah.
it's so zany and like it's scary and funny and it's just great. And Cyrus is like one of my favorite characters.
Who was Cyrus?
He's a black guy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Chi McBride.
I was gonna say you like the part where like the judge is humping the mummy.
Yeah, during that scene where they're controlling the mummy like body, and then the mummy falls down, and that guy's like, she was so beautiful.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
It almost sounds like he's what's that guy?
Bobcat. Go
Yeah,
He doesn't always sound like that, just so you know. That's a character
Bobcat?
he does. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a bummer.
So, did you catch the Peter Jackson cameo in the movie?
Yeah,
Yes.
he bumped
Yes.
into Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, and then what I don't understand why he puts so much Full Metal Jacket in this movie, like, because the drill sergeant is basically the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, just transposed as it goes into this movie, which
Yeah,
is,
same actor and everything.
Sound off like you got a pair.
I mean, it's a great character, but I really wish he had said something about Pyle.
I think we're all in agreement that this movie is awesome.
Yep.
And we're in agreement that Jeffrey Combs is awesome.
Yeah, he is.
I only know him from Star Trek. He plays a lot of recurring characters, a lot of minor characters in Star Trek.
You haven't seen The
So-
Reanimator?
No, I haven't.
He is.
Oh, you should.
He's in a lot of horror movies.
Yeah, he's like, doesn't Reanimator have like 3 sequels?
Yes.
I think it might have more. I'm not positive though.
But like with him?
Yeah,
Not
he's in them
really.
all.
Oh, in the mall.
One of the best things about The Reanimator is that he just plays like the biggest dick.
Yeah, he's just a jerk.
Well, he's kind of a dick in this movie too.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's been through a lot of shit, but like, he doesn't garner any sympathy points because he's such an asshole. Like, even as a police officer, if you believe that Michael J. Fox is like the killer, he's just interested in watching him like kill himself. He was just expecting him to suicide.
And then he was trying to kill him multiple times, and he's just standing there unarmed.
Yeah, so he's definitely an asshole.
But it's a different type in Reanimator.
Less like a.
He's like more snarky.
Well, I could see that because his voice has a very like snarky tone to it. He talks like this.
It's a pretty good impression.
Founders. Oh
Well,
my.
Biggie, it was a good choice.
Yep. Yeah, it still holds up. Yeah. What's that? How many years ago was that now?
96.
18 or
Well, the
17.
the CG is definitely old, but it's used in such playful ways that like it's so fun to look at. Like the way the Soul Reaver looks and all that stuff.
Yeah. It boggles my mind that like that is the last horror movie we get from Peter Jackson. After that, it's all Lord of the Rings, and it's been nothing but Lord of the Rings since then. Oh, and King Kong, but we can forget about that.
There's
movie.
also that other
The
movie.
Lovely Bones.
Yeah,
Which one?
Lovely Bones.
Yeah, it's based on an Alice Sebold novel. It's about the little girl who gets killed.
Oh, he directed that. Oh, right. Oh, maybe I should watch that movie.
But the
It's okay.
the ghosts in this look just like the ghosts from Lord of the Rings.
Totoro, you're saying something?
I don't remember.
You mean the blue haze?
Yeah, and the way they're kind of decomposing a little.
Isn't that like? Oh, it's like what's Seventh Guest? In the Seventh Guest, they all had a haze around them because you can't mocap them out cleanly, so it's just easier to put a filter on them and make them kind of blend in like that.
Sure.
Or so I've read.
Whatever, let's wrap this up. Because it's just a good movie.
And it's time to talk about Mass Effect.
No, actually, it's not yet. Stop jumping the gun!
Sorry.
So, next week's movie box pick, we're actually doing a switch. It's supposed to be Mrs. Totoro, but we're swapping her out with Cross, who is the next person, because she won't be
Yeah, we're gonna be out
next
of
week.
town.
Yeah, so Cross, X-Hunter, has been bumped up, and his pick is the Castle of Cagliostro.
Oh shit! I thought he was gonna pick this, but I wasn't sure.
You mean the Lupin movie? Or...
Yes,
The Lupin the Third.
the
It
Miyazaki
is the
directed film.
Yeah, is the Hayao Miyazaki directed Lupin the Third movie. So it's interesting because Miyazaki this isn't his original IP. It's Lupin the Third, which is an established franchise, but it's an excellent movie, and a lot of people don't like the original dub, but I like it. David Hayter, Mr.
Metal Gear fame.
Yeah, from Metal Gear fame, he plays Lupin in the I forget which company it was.
I know him from
And
Captain Planet.
And this is also the movie that was made into a video game?
Was it? Part of
Yes,
it.
It was an arcade machine.
There's a Famicom game, and I'm not surprised if it was made into an arcade game as well.
No, it's a Laserdisc arcade game that uses the movie, and it's like Dragon's.
Oh, like Dragon's Lair? That's weird.
What?
Yeah, you've never played that?
I
Oh,
need to look this up. Anyway, that's the movie box pick. So, X, get ready for some anime.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read credits now. But like I said, stay tuned for the end afterwards, so you can hear some Mass Effect 3 spoiler talk. I want to thank Biggie for being on. Thanks for joining us this week.
Thanks for having.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please donate to the official Geekbox Mumble server. It's where we record the podcast, hang out, and if you're on the Mumble server, you may have a chance to be on the podcast as well. Or if you just want to be on the podcast, tweet us at alltalk podcast. You can also PM us on the forums at forums.geekbox.net. Make sure you PM Totoro or me, Dakazu, or Mr. X. Email us questions at podcast@alltalkpodcast.com. We still haven't had a single question. Review us on iTunes, Zune, and Stitcher. And make sure you listen to the other podcasts, including the Geekbox, Comics Conspiracy, Comedy Buddy, and Good Job Brain as well. That just about wraps things up. Thanks for listening. I love you.